Welcome back to Twin Terror. I'm David.
And I'm Gary.
And I don't have my beanie with me, so I can't put on my beanie and beam
Oh,
up
I could.
David.
I've got my 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 three.
I
My
can't
quarter
wait. Suppose
zip.
I can try and hook this thing over the top. Ow, sorry. Anyway, um, some interesting information's come out uh, through my diligent use of TikTok. I get to hear things from uh, people that get information that are kind of expert commentaries. And you've heard me mention a gentleman named Mr. Global before. He's an oil and gas expert. And as a for instance, he was saying that oil companies would not be lining up to go for Venezuelan crude because it's some of the dirtiest crude that's out there, and it takes a lot of refining to clean it up, so it's expensive. And oil at $60 a barrel is not a money making adventure with it. And when the oil companies got booted out in 2007, when uh, uh, Venezuela nationalized the oil production, they spent billions of dollars, like half a trillion dollars, working with Canada to get the infrastructure built up to extract. Basically, Canada has dirty oil as well, and so after they've spent half a trillion dollars building up that infrastructure, there's not going to be a lot of hunger to run to Venezuela and then spend hundreds of billions of dollars fixing the neglect in the Venezuelan extraction and refining processes to be able to get crude that they can't sell for a profit on the open market. Trump said that the oil companies pledged $100 billion at a recent White House meeting with the oil executives there, and they all said, "No, we didn't." And then Trump said, "Well, if you don't want to do it, go ahead. Just tell me. I've got 25 other companies lined up." And Mr. Goldberg says, "No, he doesn't. It's just used car salesman tactics." Yeah. The other thing he pointed out, though, was he seemed to recall that there was a report, switching gears to Minnesota.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is the topic of this reading.
Yes.
You read by the title. Um, that there was a report that came out regarding immigration and custom enforcement agents purposely stepping in front of vehicles. And this report came out 10 years ago.
It came out in 2014.
So I'm going to play you an audio. It's a video clip for us, but it will be an audio clip for you. So you can hear it straight from the horse's mouth as opposed to me paraphrasing it.
Well, that was quick. I asked if someone could find the report, and they did. What are we talking about? The internal report produced by Customs and Border Patrol, which stated that U.S. border agents were intentionally stepping in front of moving vehicles to justify shooting at them. This article came out in 2014.
And I want to point out, as he said, this is a report that came out from U.S. Borders and Customs.
Yeah.
This is not some watchdog agency. This is from the internal report of that own agency.
It was based on a report that I couldn't find, but fortunately someone else found it for me, my good friend Victoria. And here is the report from CBP. And right here on page 8, they found that Border Patrol agents were intentionally stepping in front of vehicles to create justification to shoot the people inside. Most reviewed cases involved nonviolent suspects who posed no threat other than a moving vehicle. It states they were doing this out of frustration. Once again, Jonathan Ross.
So, doesn't that just line up? Now, mind you, Jonathan Ross is like a 10 or 11 year agent with ICE, if I remember reading correctly.
Yeah.
Guess what? That puts him in the agency right at the time that they're doing this. He might be a new agent at that point, but he's being taught to do that. And is that not exactly what he did in Minneapolis?
Well, and that's the same thing that happened in Oregon.
Yeah.
Where, we don't have video proof of that yet. But, once again, 2 people were shot for being suspected gang members. And and they were using their vehicle as a weapon. Right. It's...
And same thing with the woman who was going to run him down, and then they shot at her, and they had to drop the charges because the video evidence came out showing she, in fact, was not trying to run them down, that they had rammed her vehicle instead. Mm-hmm. And that was just a few months ago. in the video that came out that actually was released by the White House, it shows the shooting officer Ross holding his phone in his right hand, because as he's moved past the vehicle, you can see the reflection in the window of him holding a phone as he's walking behind the vehicle. Renee Good's wife or domestic partner, or whoever she was, confronted Agent Ross, basically saying, yeah, you can go ahead and film the license plate. It'll be the same one on there tomorrow. We don't swap plates. And as he's going around the car, she's kind of taunting him. Not kind of, she's taunting him. It's like, basically saying, you're going to come at us? Why don't you go get a sandwich, big boy?
Yeah.
And as she's taunting him, you see the phone gets transferred over from his right hand to his left hand because his shooting hand and his firearm are on the right side. So now he's got the phone in his left hand, so his right hand is free as he steps in front of the vehicle. Renee Good starts backing up her vehicle, and you can see him reach down to his firearm, and he starts unholstering it as she's backing up. So he's already got the gun in his hand. That you don't pull a gun out unless you plan on using it.
Right.
And so he's already intending to use that gun. As Renee Good starts driving forward, and you can see the wheels are cranked to the right, she's driving at idle speeds or less.
Yeah.
Because she's looks like she's just trying to make a right turn. She was waiting for her wife to. It looks like she was waiting for her wife to get in the vehicle, but because they were reaching for the doorknob, she took evasive maneuvers to prevent them from getting into the vehicle. And as she pulls forward, that ICE agent then puts a shot through the front windshield. And then as she is turning away, you actually see him walking faster, running with the car to put 2 more shots in through the driver's side driver's side window.
Window open, and the window wasn't.
And the window was open, unless she had rolled it up. But
no, she hadn't. It was open.
And as she drives away, you hear him mutter, "Bitch, effing bitch." And Blind Squirrel, thank you for pointing that out. I don't remember the exact. There's like a legal bar I think you have to meet to show like intent or malice or something along those lines. And by him muttering and uttering that phrase after he had put 3 bullets into her, it shows it meets that legal bar that needs to happen in order to prosecute this guy. Now, according to, was it Trump? The FBI is not going to cooperate with Minnesota in this investigation. But Minnesota is going to conduct their own investigation.
Right.
One other person pointed out, dude, you've got multiple videos showing what happened. You could probably get a grand jury rounded up right now, sit them down, show them how the wheels are turned, the speed she's going, and that officer, putting 3 bullets putting 3 bullets into her, and you would get an indictment.
Yeah.
It's reasonable.
Yeah, he said he didn't want to. Chrissy Nome said they weren't going to share the details of the investigation because it wasn't in their jurisdiction. The state's investigative group, it wasn't in their jurisdiction. Trump said he didn't want to share it because the government is corrupt and Walz is an idiot.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And typically FBI would work with.
Yeah, there would be a joint investigation.
A joint investigation because that's what a normal law enforcement agency does in normal times.
Yes. So that's that. But these are definitely not normal times.
Yeah. Because Gary turns up the gain on the microphone there.
Turn the volume. I just thought I'd check that. Anyway, so let's take a look around this. So I guess we just look at, will there be a joint investigation or...
Why not? Go for it.
Okay.
You do what you do you.
Okay. I'm curious, will the FBI acquiesce and do a joint investigation?
See, now you can actually see what the Gary doll looks like.
Yes.
It's suitable for frame. You can't put up like that because obviously the lights get
it glares. Will they do a joint investigation? So you got the 2 of Pentacles. It's a balancing act. The problem is if they do a joint investigation, they know they cannot control the information that comes out, or the keeping the information close to the vest. The stuff that they don't want to come out, they can't keep it hidden. The challenge is historically they have transacted in such a way. That is the routine way these things are done. Energy underneath. I'm getting some good cards on this. This is making my reading easy. You've got a nightmare situation with the Nine of Swords. That there is too much independent evidence that's already out there between eyewitness testimony and actual video footage that basically does not support the government's initial statement that this was a deranged leftist, Trump-hating liberal that was weaponizing her vehicle to run down ICE agents.
Yes, and that he was severely hurt and had to go to the hospital.
Yes,
miracle he's alive.
Barely survived.
Yeah, Jesus. It's like you can almost. This is something like a Lincoln Project would do. They would be playing the video while those audio clips are playing of Trump saying how, she weaponized her vehicle and the agents barely, was run over and barely alive, and they show the vehicle slowly driving around.
Yeah. In the past, you've got the Ten of Cups where, state and federal agencies work together. They were on the same side, on the same team. Current energy is they're shutting out the state.
Yeah.
We are the federal government. We have all the power. We have all the information. We are controlling this. We're not going to let you have anything more than what we want you to have, which right now is nothing.
Think of the Pentacles as being evidence.
Yes.
If you think of the Pentacles being evidence, this really simplifies what that's meaning.
Overarching energy is the Two of Swords. They have a choice. They have a choice whether they want to do a joint or not. Lesson to be learned is the Knight of Wands. There's going to be action taken regardless of their choice. The state can still conduct their own investigation. Yep. It just won't be a joint investigation.
Yep.
And they can interview whoever they want. They can gather whatever evidence they want, and they can do it on their own. And then the outcome is the Empress. Ultimately, what's going to come out of this will be what's beneficial for the United States in general.
Yeah, and what's looking like is the nightmare situation is if the FBI did a joint investigation, they could probably try to restrict some of the evidence, but the state would still have access to a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
If the state does their own investigation, they have the feds won't know what the state knows.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't provide a defense. Yeah. So that's why there's a nightmare situation. They're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. And it doesn't really matter anyway because the investigation is going to go forward and they're going to build a pretty solid case already with just the video evidence alone. They've got a really solid case, a really solid foundation for the case. And the officer's utterance at the end did him no favors.
Well, they've also got video. I haven't seen it. I saw the article. They said someone had mentioned that the ICE agents, I guess they had put up a candle vigil where she got killed, and they have a video of ICE agents walking by and kicking down the candles from the vigil. So I mean, it's just to me, this is one of those judgment moments, the galvanizing moments. And apparently it was only a mile away from where George Floyd got killed.
Right. My reading that one up this morning was, is this going to be the next BLM type moment? Will this build into a movement like that?
What channel is that on?
Tarot by the Bay.
Tarot by the Bay.
Terror
really?
By the Bay. Kind of like
Twin Terror with Gary and David. Hey, at least your closed captioning will capture that utterance correctly.
Most of the time, correct. I try to be very diligent in my word. Welcome back to Twin Tarot.
No.
Terror. Yeah. It's got to be my accent.
Yes, your American accent.
Okay, will the FBI be successful in protecting this agent through their actions of denying evidence,
suppressing evidence, spinning evidence?
You got the Knight of Swords, Knight King of Cups, Four of Coins. Here they are trying to restrict it.
Yeah, they're withholding
Page
it.
of Swords.
Wow.
And the Knight of Cups.
Wow, that is a rough set of cards there.
Yeah,
Good luck.
No, will they be? They're gonna try. They're screwed 6 ways to Sunday. Underneath it all, they're really trying to hold that evidence, but it's what they're running into is that this guy acted emotionally. He did not act like an officer who had his emotions under control. And don't be surprised if there's whistleblowers out here leaking additional evidence about this. I suspect that what I think is going to happen is, as maybe this investigation gains steam, and it's starting to look really bad, maybe they come back and offer Minnesota, we'll help you, but in a false friend type manner. If this was so are they going to succeed in protecting this guy? Probably not. They will definitely withhold the evidence, but it looks like some of that evidence is going to get out there, or this guy's past. His past actions will come back and support the case against them. Now, let's say, for instance, Kristi Noem were to lose her job. Kash Patel's replaced, and I know this will never happen, but let's say they got replaced with people who were career FBI agents and career Department of Justice agents. So somebody who's like an acting. And all of a sudden the FBI and the Department of Justice reverts back to normal behaviors. Then that Knight of Cups could very well be that, yeah, you know what? We're changing our mind. We are supporting, we're going to support this investigation. But until something like that happens, I would be really leery of a joint investigation with the current leadership. That doesn't mean that the FBI agents that would be Department of Justice folks working with Minnesota wouldn't be honorable people doing their job. Because remember, the people leading it are not representative of the people in that bureau.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, they're not all Kristi Noems.
They're not all Kristi Noems. They don't all buy into that. What they are government employees who have spent years, if not decades, supporting the government. And I guess I heard the other day that a lot of lawyers, thousands of lawyers, have left the Department of Justice, which is going to make it very difficult for the DOJ to prosecute cases because they physically don't have the bodies that they need to do all the prosecutions that they do. So now they have to pick and choose what they're going to support, and any case that they bring against is weakened because they literally don't have the lawyers to do the work that they need to have done in order to successfully prosecute cases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one of the arguments that came out of Tim Walz's office is that, basically they want to have a very transparent investigation. Mm-hmm. Minnesotans value transparency, and we know Trump, the most transparent president ever.
Clearly,
right?
Let's just go to his height and weight on his medical records.
How about those tax returns? I'm still working on those, right?
Still being audited all these years later.
Yeah. So the problem you're going to run into is, unless the FBI does a joint investigation with the state, no one in Minnesota is going to buy the results of the investigation from the FBI. Even if it's all real legit, there's going to be people out there, assuming it's legit and it goes, we completely exonerate the guy, he was completely justified. There's no one that's going to buy it. People they've seen the video clips, they can make up their own mind, and anything less.
Hey, let's put it this way. the craziest story, and I just thought about this right now, is that this guy misfired his firearm 3 times. You know,
Yes.
pap pap pap, nothing happened, no bullets came out. You know, and there's a sniper several hundred yards away that actually shot and killed her. You know, if Minnesota and the FBI both came up with that, well, first off, nobody would believe it because it would be absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, they had the video evidence from the crime.
But you might be mildly more willing to believe it if both agencies inspected that than if that was Kash Patel's FBI coming up with that. You know, they found Charlie Kirk's 30-06 round.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So. I don't know if I want to go any more on this.
You don't have to.
Then we won't. You know, it's just we'll see what happens with this. Frankly, in my opinion, it would be in everyone's best interest if FBI plays ball with the state officials, because I guess at the end of the day, if he gets charged federally, Trump can always pardon him later.
Yeah, but there'll be state charges.
Yeah, there'll definitely be state charges, and Trump can't do anything about that. So.
No, I was going to try to say, it's double jeopardy.
Well, just like that gal, in Colorado, the vote, the lady that...
Oh, Tina Peters.
Yeah, yeah. She should...
Why do I even have a brain cell dedicated to that woman?
Yeah, I don't. I jettisoned that brain cell a long time ago.
God.
Yeah, so he can't do anything about state crimes, so... Minnesota, I guarantee, will be doing this, at least a state investigation.
I mean, I'd rather have that brain cell be dedicated to Bernadette Peters. At least,
yeah,
that's
more palatable.
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you so much for watching, David. I truly appreciate that.
Yeah, go ahead, leave a like, a comment, a share. Gary goes through all the comments, deletes many, and keeps the ones that he likes.
Yes, there was one guy last night.
Oh, mom.
I want to. Yeah,
mom made a middle burner account.
It might have been my mom.
It definitely was.
It was, you know.
I feel the mom energy oozing out of this.
She was in a mood, I guess. Their point was that since the first bullet hit the front windshield, clearly she had the vehicle pointed at him.
Okay, yeah, I watched a TikTok video with that, and the guy literally who did the TikTok video is like, the look on his face like, you are the stupidest person in the entire planet. And he, you know, here's like your car coming at you, and this car could be right here. I could be standing inside, hold my gun over, pow, put a bullet through the windshield, and then step to the side window and add 2 more.
Yeah, and you know, it's just
your arms extend, you know.
Yeah. I after I eviscerated him, because Dave and I had already had this conversation.
Sure, the car was pointing at him at some point, and it was going to continue on the arc.
Yes.
Past him.
I just pointed out that if you look at where the bullet hit,
right by the A-pillar.
Yeah, I mean, you can already tell that it wasn't on the center line of the person where they're told to aim. Right. Yeah. This thing. If he was aiming at the center line, that means he was already at a 45-degree angle or greater.
Yeah. You can put a bullet through a front windshield of a car without being in the car's direct path as it drives.
Yeah, absolutely can. And I pointed that out after I mocked this person, then I blocked him. Blocked. So for that person, you don't get a shout out.
All they're doing is just repeating right-wing talking points.
Yeah, I mean, let's not interject any kind of common sense or critical thinking.
Critical thinking. What a concept. You know, Trump loves dumb people.
All right.
And this is the result of the defunding of education over the last 40 years.
Good Lord. Card for all of us. We got the emperor. Let's get out there and dethrone this emperor. It's time.
Because we don't want to see him with no clothes on.
Yeah. All right, folks. Thank you so much.
All right, take care, everyone.
All right, bye.
Bye.